So the new moon is nearly upon us. It's coming in on the 17th of September 2020 in the sign of Virgo. In this video, a tarot reading, 12 cards for 12 signs, one for each sign, or if you like, you can look at it as a 12-card tarot reading for you, whoever you are, if you're drawn to it. So let's get started with the sign of Aries. We've got the Three of Cups here. Right, this is a very positive thing indeed. Now, this is all about what to do with the new moon energy. Where's it going to take you? Well, maybe it's not going to take you anywhere on day one, because there isn't much energy about until she starts growing in the sky. But as this moon gets going, Aries, this looks like an upward spiral. It really does. Because what we've got here is not just two people coming together. You could either call it three people, a group of people, or two people coming together, maybe in a loving relationship, with the divine influences coming in, the angels coming in to help as the third character. In any case, it's a bit of a mutual appreciation society, and you really need to be keeping it as real as you possibly can. But things are going up, things are looking up, and there is low-hanging fruit all over the trees. And it looks like there's cakes in boxes down here, unless I'm misreading it. But there you go, Aries. Okay, so what are we going to say for the sign of Taurus? Turning the top one over, Knight of Cups. Right, so Taurus, this is a bit more of a kind of a thinking time for you, really, this next moon. This is time to kind of contemplate where you're going to go next. This character really enjoys a good wine, and he's looking at his cup here. And is it a cup half full or a cup half empty? In any case, he's hoping it's a cup of fine wine, because that's what the Knight of Cups is like in this deck. So a time of contemplation, thinking in terms of the cups being about thoughts, feelings, desires, what you actually want to come into being, and how you actually feel about that. That's the Cups influence at this point. And so the Knight is fairly senior. This is going to be about stuff you already understand a fair bit. Just go over stuff you already know and ask yourself, what's that teaching you, and where is that knowledge taking you? Okay, Taurus. So moving along rather swiftly. Let's have another quick shuffle. I had a real big shuffle before I started because I don't want to spend half the video shuffling. So just a quick one there. We'll turn over the top one, and it's the Ace of Wands for the sign of Gemini. So Gemini, there is always a bit of decisions making involved in the wands, because they are actually about getting things done, and you do need to kind of stop and think about how to get things done. But this card is full of alchemy, being an ace, and it kind of shows if you get things moving here, which is what the wand represents, then this celestial candle is going to light up and go poof, and bring in a lot of extra energy to whatever it is you want to get done, Gemini. So it's a get up and go moon for you, no doubt about that. It looks a bit of a dry desert in this scene, so maybe earthly things and earthly pursuits aren't really going to get you anywhere. So it's a time to reach as high as you can up into the celestial skies and try and draw in that divine energy, or at least try and get working with it, because it is actually indicated here, it is coming in. So whatever you do will be bigged up in the heavens some way, somehow. So we move on swiftly to the sign of Cancer. Let's see what we've got for Cancer. Top card is the Six of Cups. Right, Cancer, we're into that idea of kind of longings, desires, thinking about things. What do we actually want? And there's a lot of thinking in this reading so far, actually. So I would say whoever you are watching this, whichever sign you are, think things through carefully, because this is only the fourth card and they've all involved a bit of thinking so far. So Six of Cups. Now then, this is a very positive card in so many ways, because Alice is actually being given this massive cup full of, I don't know what it is, looks like a really nice trifle or a Knickerbocker Glory, a real nice ice cream treat. But as positive as it is, this card invites you to look back on the past a bit and think, well, in your position now, in terms of what you're doing at this time in this life, are you being driven by sentimental feelings from the past? Because whatever happened in the past, it's good to kind of keep the love and the light as you go forward, but do remember that the past is old news, okay? We've also got a flying elephant up here, flying above the scene. So, maybe you're living in cloud cuckoo land. Might actually be the case. Might not be the case. This card just says stop and ask yourself, because things aren't exactly what they seem. Okay, so that is for the sign of, let me just make sure I'm not missing one here, Aries, Taurus, Gemini. That was for Cancer, so this one is for Leo. Gosh, we are moving quick at this moment. So a card for Leo. What's on the top of the deck now? Oh, number 16, the Tower of Destruction. Now then, Leo, this is about the new moon, and when we look at the tower, it's kind of almost more about what's happened than what's going to happen, or at least it is in this deck. But supposing something happens that seems like a bit of a disaster, don't let it bring you down, okay? Because what's happened here is the rather childish Alice has tried to do the magic trick of whisking the tablecloth off the table and leaving all the plates and candlesticks and things and the cups all in place. But she's knocked them all over, and in the process she's set off a load of fireworks, and the Queen here is not looking impressed. But the truth is, that's not Alice's fault. She was young, she was inexperienced, she didn't actually know that was going to happen. One of my daughters tried that when she was young, and we had to buy a load of new plates, but I don't think we ever really blamed her for it, because kids are bound to experiment with things, and even as adults, we're interested in experimenting with new things. Sometimes we get it wrong. So on the one hand, Leo, don't be afraid to experiment. On the other hand, don't blame yourself for what goes wrong, but do get involved in picking up the pieces, okay? Because it's only fair to do that, and that is going to be laying the foundations, kind of being nice, laying the foundations for a better kind of string of prospects in store in the future. Okay, so that's Cancer, that's Leo, and now we are going to say what is here for Virgo. Top card for Virgo, 8 of Wands, very fast moving progress indicated in this card, Virgo. There is love involved, okay, because there are pink clouds there, but love isn't the whole picture. They're only partly pink, okay, so think outside the box when it comes to relationships and love. Fast moving progress, though. It looks like things are happening. If you're about to come into a really, really happy new relationship, Virgo, the very best of luck to you. I wish I was. Maybe I am. You never know when that's going to happen, actually. But you see how the cards are turned upside down with their backs to us here? That's because there's a kind of a game going on, but it's not a game we can really play a role in. We just got to kind of accept that whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But it's fast moving, and it is very, very positive. Okay, so that is the sign of Virgo. So that brings us to the sign of Libra. What have we got for Libra? Top card again, and they're falling all over the place. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, Libra. Well, you're going to be able to use your amazing ability to balance things when this card comes up, really, because things are all over the place. We can see Alice chasing the Mad March hare over the top of this clock. So the clock's ticking. Well, the clock is always ticking, actually. It's a human invention. The spirit realms want nothing to do with time, but we've invented it, and so we're subject to it. So if you really want to escape, kind of look into the spiritual side of yourself, look to your higher self, excuse me, and ask yourself where that's taking you. Because the higher self is always active, and it's always in charge, actually. It really is close to the angelic kind of intent and the intent of the universe, the mission that you have in this life. So look to the higher self, but who knows where you're going to jump off this wheel, Libra? Nobody really knows. We've got a chessboard down here and lots of cards that we can see the faces of. So the game is on. Nobody quite knows where this wheel is going to stop, but it's going to stop sometime, or at least you're going to be able to jump off it sometime, Libra. So keep coming from a place of balance as much as you possibly can, and keep looking into that higher self as well, because it's the best place to look. So a card for Scorpio, and we have the 5 of Swords. Now, this lady is not to be messed with. She's a queen in many ways. It's not the Queen of Swords card, but there's a queenly energy about this. This is the Queen of Hearts, and she will not accept any nonsense whatsoever. She's kind of a stern taskmaster or task mistress, I suppose you could say. So, Scorpio, there is actually a decision here, and it's not something you can put off easily, or even, kind of with a lot of effort. You can't put this decision off. It needs making. Stick to your guns. We've got some playing cards showing on the knaves behind her there, so it's not entirely straightforward. There's a game going on. You're going to have to pitch your answer to whatever question you're being asked, whatever decision you're trying to make. You're going to have to pitch that answer or that decision towards circumstances as they're happening. Everything's always changing. Even karma is always changing, Scorpio. Okay, so that's really about going with the flow of the energy of the moment, and maybe even trying to work out what's coming down the pike and trying to be sort of ready for the energy of the next few moments as well, because that is a big decision, whatever it is. So many people watch these videos. Not, I wish there were tens of thousands, but it doesn't matter, you know. I'm quite happy, but I know kind of 30 people, 40 people are going to watch this in all different parts of the world. I don't know what you guys are going through. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you're going through. Tell me what it means to you. It's always good to share the journey, actually. Anyway, Sagittarius. Here we go, and this is a card for me as well as you, and we've got the Empress, number 3 in the Major Arcana. Now, this is actually very early in the journey of life, because that's what the Major Arcana is all about. In fact, the whole tarot is really. But particularly in the Major Arcana, this is just kind of 3 steps into the journey. 4 really, because it starts with the Magician at 0. But here we are. This lady, who also shows up as the Emperor in this, the Empress rather, in this deck, is actually being helped by Alice here. Now, she is the Empress in this deck. What am I talking? I can't read the little writing in my screen, you see. She's the Empress, and she's quite a powerful character, but she can't do much on her own. She's being helped by Alice, and as Alice helps her, Alice actually grows and learns a bit too. There's a lot of nature inherent in the Empress. This is the goddess energy. Okay, Sagittarius, so do get out into the countryside if you possibly can, because that is really going to energize whatever you're trying to do at the moment. If you can't get out into the countryside, and I know sadly a lot of people can't, just we sometimes say listen to the silence behind the noise. If you can't get out into the countryside, Saggies, I'm going to say listen to the soil beneath the concrete, because it is there. Okay, nothing in this world, however kind of man-made and chemical it is, could exist unless it was made out of something that came from the earth in the first place. So just dwell on that and dwell on human nature. And if you're called upon to help someone who really ought to be able to sort themselves out, do it anyway, okay? Because you never know exactly what's going to come, but it looks like something good's going to come in there with the Empress energy. So Capricorn, top card for you guys now, and it's number 9. It's the Hermit. Now this is actually the same character that came in earlier on in the reading, but this time he's going off into his own private world. He's riding away, and Alice is waving bye-bye rather tearfully there with her handkerchief, because she thinks she may never see him again. She actually does see him again in the story, but by that time she's turned into a woman, because the other analogy that goes on through the Alice in Wonderland books and also through this tarot deck is this is kind of Alice turning into a woman as a metaphor for all our journeys through life, Capricorn. So you might need to retire into yourself. If not, then you're going to have to accept that someone else is retiring into their own world. If that's the case, they will be back. If this is you, you will be back stronger than ever. But look inside yourself, okay? This is time to look inwardly. It doesn't feel like you're getting anything much done there, but that's not a problem, because this is going to really power things up, whatever you learn when you go into that space of seclusion. That only leaves us Aquarius and Pisces to go. So let's have one for Aquarius. Top card here, the High Priestess. Okay, there she is. Now then, Aquarius, this is very good news. Alice is trying to get in through the door here. These are like the 2 pillars, Bina and Chokmah, in the Rider-Waite expression, where the Empress is sitting in front of that curtain. We don't know what's on the other side of that curtain, but the point is Alice is actually allowed in, and it would be a shame if she avoided going in just because she doesn't know what's going to happen in there. Okay, that's always a Pandora's box, isn't it? Going ahead and not knowing what's going to happen on the other side of the curtains. But you can trust it, okay? The High Priestess is a priestess for a reason. She knows exactly what she's doing, much more so in spiritual terms than any of us could know. So Aquarius, if you need to consult a spiritual character, go ahead and do it. But whatever you do, don't put off the journey through that door, because that is the door that life is trying to take you to, and you will have earned it. That is all part of the meaning of the High Priestess. You will have earned that passage. You might not know where it's taking you, but it's somewhere good. So, top card now in this one is for Pisces. Okay, Eight of Swords. So, Pisces, not an easy situation, this one, actually. And it doesn't look a happy scene, really, but it's happier than it looks, because Alice could actually get away from this if she wanted to. All she's got to do is kind of wriggle the sword, wriggle her back a bit and wriggle the sword out of the ground, and then she could walk away and she could throw off the things that are tied round her and she could be free. But she's choosing to accept this kind of commitment here, and maybe that's not a bad thing, but as I said, it doesn't look a terribly happy scene to me. So Pisces, question your commitments, okay? And if you're in a questionable situation with your relationship at the moment, it's up to you to do something about it. That doesn't necessarily mean ending a relationship, but it does mean doing something about it, okay? If you mean anything at all to the other person, they will eventually have to listen to you, okay? So hold that thought. Whatever you might feel like in your relationship, if you feel you really just can't be heard, can't be listened to, never mind that. You actually can be. Eight of Swords, there are decisions to make because it's a sword card. So there we go. There's a card for all the signs. Thanks very much for watching. I'm going to wrap it up here because I like to make these videos as short as possible. Thumbs up, please, if you have enjoyed it. The subscribe button is down there. So is my email address if you'd like a reading or a birth chart doing. There's a small fee attached, but drop me an email and we will arrange it very soon. Leave me a comment, as I said. It's always good to share the journey with you guys. Links to all my social media down there. Take care of yourself. Hope this new moon brings you some wonderful things. Looks to me from that reading as if it's going to. So keep on your toes. Save your save your energy until the moon energy comes up a bit in 2 or 3 days' time, and then get on with it, because that's what life's all about. Okay, guys, take care of yourselves. Love, light, and peace.